What if you're already getting rich and you just don't know it yet? Most people assume wealth looks a certain way: expensive cars, designer outfits, lavish vacations. But here's the thing nobody talks about. The people who are actually building serious wealth tend to look completely ordinary from the outside. No flashy upgrades, no social media flexing, just quiet, consistent progress that most people completely miss. So today we're breaking down 7 signs that you might be secretly getting rich, even if it doesn't feel like it at all. And trust me, by the end of this video you might realize you're a lot further ahead than you thought. Let's get into it. Sign number 1. You spend less than you earn, and it doesn't even feel like a sacrifice anymore. Now, I know that sounds simple, but don't underestimate it. The majority of people in this country spend every single dollar they make, and then some. But you've quietly built a life where your spending just naturally falls below your income. You're not white-knuckling it through a strict budget. You've just stopped caring about impressing people, and that shift has everything to do with wealth. That gap between what you earn and what you spend, that's not just leftover money. That's your future. It's the raw material that gets transformed into savings, investments, and eventually freedom. And the fact that it doesn't feel like deprivation anymore? That's the sign you've actually internalized this habit. That's powerful. Sign number 2. You've stopped thinking about next week and started thinking about the next decade. Seriously, this is a massive psychological shift. When most people think about money, they're thinking about Friday's paycheck, next month's rent, maybe a vacation next summer at the absolute furthest. But somewhere along the way, your brain rewired itself. You started thinking in terms of years and decades. You care more about where compound interest takes you over 15 years than you do about what the market does this afternoon. You're building skills that will pay off later. You're making connections that might not matter for 5 years, but will matter enormously when they do. That long-term thinking? That's not common. That's the mindset that separates people who eventually become wealthy from people who just stay busy. Sign number 3. You have a financial cushion, and you never mention it. Let that sink in for a second. There's money sitting in your account right now that you haven't touched. Not because you're being boring, but because you understand what that money actually represents. It represents options. It represents the ability to handle a car breaking down without panicking. It means if something goes sideways at work, you're not immediately in crisis mode. Most people only understand the value of an emergency fund after they desperately needed one and didn't have it. But you built yours before the emergency showed up. That's not a coincidence. That's a financially mature person doing the right thing before it hurts not to. Sign number 4. Your income is growing, but your lifestyle isn't exploding with it. This one is genuinely rare. When most people get a raise, they immediately upgrade their car, their apartment, their wardrobe. Lifestyle inflation kicks in fast. But you've noticed something different happening in your own life. Your earnings are climbing, but your monthly expenses aren't chasing them. You're not trying to look richer. You're actually becoming richer. And the reason this works is simple. Every dollar that doesn't go toward inflating your lifestyle goes toward building your future. The gap between income and expenses is literally your wealth engine. Keep that gap wide and the engine runs fast. Shrink it and you're just running in place no matter how much you earn. Sign number 5. Money has become a tool in your mind, not the finish line. At some point, the obsession fades. You stop refreshing your bank balance every hour. You stop fantasizing about hitting some magic number that'll finally make everything feel okay. Instead, you start asking different questions. What do I actually want my life to look like? What would I do with more time? How can I use money to build the things that actually matter to me? Wealthy people overwhelmingly think this way. Money becomes a resource, not the reward. And when you start thinking like that, something interesting happens. You make smarter decisions. You stop chasing shiny distractions. You invest more intentionally because you know exactly what you're investing for. Sign number 6. You're honestly a little bored talking about money lately. Hear me out on this one. When people are financially stressed, money is constantly the main topic. Every decision runs through a filter of can I afford this? But when your systems are running, when your savings are automated and your investments are humming along, money quietly moves to the background. You've handled it. So now your conversations shift toward purpose, creativity, relationships, legacy. You're not obsessing over credit card points or debating every tiny financial decision. You're thinking about bigger, more interesting things. That shift from financial anxiety to financial background noise is one of the clearest signals that you've actually leveled up. Sign number 7. You value your time more than you value looking impressive. This one might be the most underrated sign of all. When you're in survival mode financially, you don't have the luxury of valuing your time. You take whatever work you can get and you grind through it because you have no other choice. But something changes when your finances stabilize. You start saying no to things that waste your energy. You pay for convenience when it makes sense. You protect your calendar. You stop glorifying being busy and start guarding your peace like it's your most valuable asset. Because it is. And here's the deeper truth behind this. Real wealth isn't just a number in an account. It's waking up in the morning with a sense of freedom over how your day unfolds. If you're starting to feel even a little bit of that, you're building something most people never do. Here's the big picture takeaway from all of this. Wealth rarely arrives with a fanfare. There's no dramatic moment, no confetti, no sudden feeling that you've made it. Most of the time, getting rich feels completely uneventful. It looks like resisting an impulse purchase. It sounds like saying no to something that everyone else is saying yes to. It feels like making the slightly uncomfortable choice today, so your future self has options. If you recognized even one or two of these signs in your own life, you're already on a path that most people never find. You're not just getting by. You're quietly building something real. Something that a job loss, a bad market, or a rough year can't completely undo. So don't get discouraged if it doesn't feel glamorous right now. That quiet, boring, steady progress? That's exactly what getting rich actually looks like. Keep going. If this gave you a new way to look at your financial situation, hit the like button and drop a comment telling me which sign resonated with you the most. I read every single one of them.